Oh, man. Oh, man. What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live, presented by Rockham. Magic fall 109 to 107 in yet another brutally tight matchup with the Sacramento Kings. It seems like every time we play this team, this is what happens. And unfortunately, lately, every time we play this team, this is also the final result. No matter how insane the game goes, the Kings find a way to win. This is now their sixth straight victory over the Magic. And 4 of those 6 have literally come down to the final shot. 3 of them went to overtime. This is the other one. Just unfortunate, tragic night as the Magic fall at Kia Center, ending their 5-game win streak, as well as, I don't know. There's a lot of things we got to talk about tonight. Another thing happened today. Obviously, the Knicks got a win today against the Nets. We'll talk about that and what it means for the standings. And really quick, before I talk about Rockham and the Super Chats and all those good things, you'll notice at the bottom line here, the scrolling ticker here on the show, I've added the magic number. And this is going to stand the rest of the way, guys. We are in this territory now. Even though this was a loss, and I would love for this magic number to say 8, right now it's 9. But even though we did lose today, we are now we're now in single digits, I guess, for the magic number, meaning Magic wins or Heat/Sixers losses combining for this number means the Magic are going to clinch the playoffs. Still got a long way to go. This will probably take a couple weeks, maybe not, depending on how poorly the Heat and Sixers do over the coming days. But I wanted to point that out for you guys in case you saw that. And we'll talk more about that later in the show when we talk about the standings, obviously. But you guys, welcome to the Six-Man Show Postgame Live. Obviously, that's a heartbreaker. Really tough to turn around and do this show after that. I'm crushed. But glad you guys are here. Thanks for joining the show. This show is brought to you by Rockham. Rockham is the world's largest sock store, and they're located in Orlando, just minutes from Kia Center. And a lot of their team over there is huge Orlando Magic fans, which is why we partner with them this season. We love the people over there. They're great. They put out awesome products, not just for the Magic, but for any of your other sports teams from the NFL, NHL, college sports as well. And then obviously non-sports things too, like Disney, Marvel, Harry Potter, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, on and on and on it goes. They've got all kinds of really cool stuff there for you to check out. But when you do check it out, be sure you use this code, MAGIC20. Why? Because it'll get you 20% off of your order at Rockham.com, and it helps out the Six-Man Show as well. So obviously, big shout out to Rockham for supporting the show this season, and big shout out to any of you that have supported us by using that code MAGIC20 at Rockham.com. All right, we do have a super chat here from Luis Rosario. He says, J.I. is this year's most improved player. Here's the thing. It's tough. Obviously, I don't want to get on here and preach moral victories because this isn't one. Like, this is a loss that wasn't good. Your starters were bad tonight for the most part. If there's any silver lining tonight, though, it was Jonathan Isaac. Like, wow. How good was that guy tonight? And just a glimpse of what he could be in the playoffs. And maybe not even could be, but will be some nights in the playoffs. I think he will play like this in the playoffs some nights. Not every night, but he shows what he's capable of. And so obviously that's really, really exciting for us Magic fans. Obviously wish it came in a victory. But wow, yeah, Jonathan Isaac. And I'm sure we'll talk more about him as the night goes on, but he was incredible. All right, let's come to you, chat. Chris says, Cole's go-ahead shot should have been an and one. That's 100% correct. Terrible officiating tonight. That's 100% correct. Sabonis is a punk. Sabonis is, he's an agitator, and he gets away with a lot. For me, no, that's not true. There were a lot of absurd calls tonight, but the one that was the most absurd to me was the Mo Wagner moving screen. He moves one time tonight and gets the call, yet Sabonis does it all night, and not once was called for a moving screen, by the way, tonight. Just for the record. Sabonis usually gets one of those every game. He was not called for one tonight. And how many times was he actually moving? And then Mo Wagner does it one time and he gets called for it? It's crazy. Then you have the foul at half court with Jalen Suggs. Like, oh my gosh. That is crazy. That's a crazy call. Some people are saying, well, he had his hands on him. You got to call it. They were letting guys do that the whole game. The ref literally just stood there and waited to see what would happen with Fox. I mean, that was like 3 seconds late. Jalen Suggs is like 15 feet away, and they call a foul. That was crazy. Unfortunately, Mosley can't review it, number one, because he doesn't want to lose a timeout if he misses it, and he's probably going to miss it because, yeah, there was contact that they would normally call a foul, but that was just so bizarre. That was just not cool. Adam says, always a close game against Sacktown. That's facts, man. It's just crazy. Something about us and them, like, it is just weird. Rom says that foul from Suggs was BS. It was definitely questionable, and I think that's me being kind to call it questionable. Oh, yeah, and then no foul from Sabonis, same thing, Rom, yeah. Doc 2 says, disappointed, enjoy the stream, yeah. Disappointing night for sure. Thanks, Praises says, we need a Dwight Howard buzzer beater against San Antonio moment. Wouldn't that be fun? I was thinking about that. We've had so many crazy, like awesome late game moments this season, but most of them are on the road. You know, you think about Paolo's game winner against Utah on the road, Paolo's game winner against Chicago on the road, Paolo's game winner against, what was the other one that was really big? I don't know. He's had 3 or 4 game winners. He's just had so many game winners, I can't keep track. That was on the road. We're kind of due some kind of crazy late game moment at home, and we certainly didn't get it with that last play. That was a mess. Yeah, thanks, Praises says heartbreaking. It really was. Really, really was a heartbreaking. Thanks, Praises says that Franz 3 in Fox's face, followed by a smile and a smack on the keister was cinema, though. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Wish he'd hit the last one, though. Tragic. Isaac says, unbelievable, down 1, and we're shooting from behind the arc. This is what I told Jonathan and Luke in the group chat. I felt like that moment there, you know, we were down 1, that possession. We're down 1 and had all those shots and scrambles and stuff. That, for, I don't want to say the first time this season, but one of the most clear times this season where that we showed our youth. Right there, if you ask me, our inexperience, that's what that felt like. It felt like a lot of guys panicking, and maybe that's a little bit too harsh, but it felt rushed, it felt forced. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It felt rushed and forced, and that just kind of comes with youth and inexperience. And so yeah, that was kind of tough. You know, on the one hand, Cole and Franz, I wouldn't call them wide open. They had guys contesting, like flying at them, so I wouldn't call them wide open. There are still okay looks. You'd like to get one of those to go. The Cole drive after that, not great. I know he just made a miraculous shot before that, but it took a miracle for that to go in, so I wish he didn't take this one. I don't know. Not great. And then the last play of the game, I really didn't like that. I don't know what the count was. I haven't been able to watch it back. Obviously, I come on here as soon as the game is over, but I don't know if Joe Ingles had a little bit more time to find something else. Like they clamped down on Powell right away. So I kind of wish he had time. I don't know if he had time. Again, I haven't watched it back, but if he had time, I wish he hadn't rushed that too. But you know, is what it is. Do you believe in says, man, I wanted to hear that song. Me too. Me freaking too. Isaac says, I'm sick of watching Sabonis get away with constant fouls every game. Yeah, again, it's a constant moving screen with him. He's gotten really good at getting away with it. And to his credit, like, I don't really fault him for that. It's not his fault that refs call it a certain way when he's playing. But yeah, I wish they'd, I don't know. It's kind of rough. Blaze says heartbroken. Yeah, Rom says a heartbreaker. Isaac says, Paolo got to stop dribbling the air out of the ball against plus 500 teams. Probably the play that I disliked the most tonight, and this is going to be kind of critical of Paolo, but the play I disliked the most tonight was we were down 3 with, I don't know how much time was left, around a minute, and he kind of walked into that 3 on like the left elbow-ish. And I don't know. It felt like he had a pretty clear lane. You know, we've heard all season them talking about singles instead of going for the home run. Wish Paolo would have gone for the single there, especially on a night. Again, I've said this before. If Paolo's cooking from 3, fine. You want to go for it, whatever. But he ended up. He was 1 of 4 before that moment. Then he was 1 of 5, and then the heave at the end made him 1 of 6. Just not cool. I'm Joey says, how do we not challenge that call on Suggs? It wouldn't have worked. He put his hand in his, chest or midsection or whatever. They would have said, there's the foul. They're going to call that every time. No matter how soft it is. Plus everything looks worse in instant replay. It's just a really, really strange moment. Considering how the game was called in real time all night, that they were just letting both teams do that. And then in that moment, you call it just because a guy started that play too close to the line, the half-court line, and then ended up crossing it. It's rough. Matthew Kennison says, hate the Kings so much, we better sweep them next year. I actually don't hate the Kings. I really like the Kings. Like, I root for them. Probably their other 80 games of the year. I understand why some people do hate them. But I really like their team. I love Keegan Murray. There's not a lot I wouldn't do to have a Keegan Murray on the Magic. Can you imagine a guy that can shoot lights out like that around Powell and Franz? I mean, come on. It'd be crazy. Oh, Chris, yeah. Apparently Mosley thinks AB stands for afterthought on bench. Hashtag free AB. Free AB, Chris. You're exactly right. I don't understand it. It's highly questionable. It's questionable when we're healthy. It's double, triple, quadruple questionable on a night like tonight when you don't have Gary Harris and you lose Caleb Houston. Don't understand that at all. I don't. Why does he not get a chance to slow down De'Aaron Fox in that second half? Why? Why not? He's done it to other guys. He's done it to Jalen Brunson. I know that not even close to the same player, but he's done it to other guys too. I don't understand. Why not throw a different look at him, at De'Aaron Fox? I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. Anthony Black has done nothing but prove that he is capable of being on an NBA floor and contributing, and he has been repaid with bench time. It sucks. In some ways, it feels like it's kind of political, but whatever. I don't mean, I mean internal politics, right? Like Jamal has to play somebody else. I don't know. Kaiser says, I love Franz, but he takes too many threes. He's only shooting 25% from three. He should definitely not have taken that last three and drove to the rim. It's hard, right? Because we know that Franz is capable of better. We've seen it for 2 years before this season, so we know it's there. Why the regression has happened this season, I have absolutely no idea. I don't think anybody does. And you'd like to think that your best players can show up in big moments like that. Not saying he never does. Franz has obviously had a lot of big moments in his almost 3 seasons with Orlando. But on a night like tonight where you don't have it, or on a season like tonight where you don't have it, pump faking and driving, maybe, might have been the right answer there. Adam says, let's go Magic. Love this team. Hey, I'm right there with you, Adam. Love this team. Still got 42 wins on March 23rd. Sacramento's a great team. Let's not forget, guys, Sacramento lost to Washington on Thursday. You don't think Sacramento was hungry today? They knew. I mean, this was a bigger game for them than for us. This was a must-win game for them. Wait until later in the show when we look at the standings. I'll pull up the Western Conference standings. This was a huge game for the Kings. They needed this. Thank you for the super chat, Adam and Kaiser. And then we also have one here from Isaac. Says, Paolo should have attacked Murray when he had 5 fouls. 100% agree. 100% agree. Thanks for that super chat. Okay. Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on the Anthony Black stuff, man. It's rough. Do you believe in, says, ouch, 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 sucker punch to the gut. Facts. Joey says, I love P5 as a Duke fan, diehard Magic fan, but that man can't move laterally at all. I think that's a little harsh. Some possessions maybe, but I don't think at all is fair. Destined for Greatness says, that late whistle, yeah. The ref literally waited to see what happened to see if he was going to call it or not. That's exactly what happened. It's not cool. Noel Ramirez says, SMH, it's over, sell the team. Haha, JK. But we got to make them open threes. Here's the thing tonight. First half especially. What do we end up with? Hold on. 10 of 35 from 3, 28%. Terrible, right? The first half, guys, especially, and even some in the second half, the missed threes were all, for the most part, really wide open. And guys that you would trust this season to make them. Jalen Suggs ended up 1 of 5 tonight. Jalen Suggs has been an over 40% three-point shooter this season, right? Caleb Houston hit his first one, then missed like 3 in a row, or 4 in a row. No, 3 in a row, then made his 5th. Yep, ended up 2 of 5. Wendell, great three-point shooter this season. 0 of 3. Cole, obviously mixed bag, but ends up 2 of 7 tonight. I don't know. I didn't hate. Some people are going to hate it. We ended up taking 35 threes. Some people hated how we were taking threes in the first half. I didn't. I really didn't. For the most part, not as a whole, but for the most part, I really didn't hate it. It's just they were not falling. And unfortunately for this team, that happens far too often. Dizzy says, going for those 2 threes was so dumb, and then Cole driving instead of giving it to Franz for the drive with 5 seconds to go was such hero ball BS. It felt like tunnel vision. It felt like youth and immaturity and tunnel vision. Guys scrambling. I'm glad we had the timeout at the end, but I wish on that second rebound there, the play that you're talking about, Dizzy, where Cole got the ball and ended up driving, I wish we had taken a timeout there. I wish we had taken it because it was like somewhere in the 5 to 7 second range remaining. And I don't know. I think that could have been a good opportunity there. Take a timeout, regroup, try again. Instead, Cole tries another wild shot in the lane. Doesn't work. Magic almost gets rebound again, by the way, which would have been crazy. But yeah, that whole possession there just was a mess. It really was. Woof. Okay. Hoop says Kings wouldn't be much better than the Pistons without referee. Okay, now that's too. I can't co-sign that. Wouldn't be much better than the Pistons without refs favoritism. That is a very good basketball team over there. I know we're bitter. I know they got some favorable whistles tonight, but yeah, Sacramento is a very good basketball team. Let's not forget. Jory says it's a hard-fought game tonight. Wish we didn't settle for all those threes. We'll bounce back. Yeah, we'll look at the schedule here in a little bit, but Magic with a long layoff here, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, off before playing the Warriors on Wednesday. The Warriors have been a bit of a mess of late. They got hot, about the turn of the calendar, and then lately have not been playing their best basketball again. But that game is crucial for them too. So we'll see if we can bounce back. I'd hope so, especially, again, we'll talk about this later, but the Warriors will be on the second night of a back-to-back on Wednesday, so would love to get that. Adam says, J.I. was on one tonight. Hard loss, but we never hit the panic button. Love this team. Yeah. Just Hollywood 407 says, now we just have to kick butt on Paolo bobblehead night. Go Magic. Yeah, Wednesday night, for those of you who missed it, I believe it's the first 10,000 people get a Paolo Banchero bobblehead, which is pretty cool. Matthew says we need 3-point shooters. Here's what I'll say, guys. This might sound lame to some of you, and I don't care. I am very confident that we win this game if we have Gary Harris. I know it's easy for any team to say that. You're missing a guy, whatever, and the Kings were missing guys, whatever. I don't care. I'm not talking about the Kings. I'm talking about tonight. If we had Gary Harris tonight, I'm very confident we win this game. I really am. He's that much of a difference maker on both ends. I feel like he could have been the difference tonight. I really do. Solitary Introvert says, despite this loss, I love how Jonathan, the minister of offense, played. Love that. He was incredible. Tied his career high tonight, 25 points. Love to see that. We just got a couple super chats here. One from Shahin says, wish we took the easy shots. Too many missed dunks. Yeah, a couple times at the rim tonight. Even Wendell, I thought, he does this sometimes, but there was a couple times tonight, wish he would have gone up with it after getting a rebound instead of kicking it back out. And then a super chat here from Michael says, we got to play smarter at the end of games. Again, I felt like those last couple, really the scramble possession, I just felt like we showed our youth, our inexperience there. And yeah, that's what you get. Thank you guys for the super chats. Didalis, this is great. This is kind of how I feel. He says, I'm both so mad and not mad at all at the same time. That's kind of where I am, which is kind of funny because when we played Sacramento back in January, that's exactly how I felt. I wasn't mad at all. Like, that was the best loss of the season, right? The double overtime loss in Sacramento without Franz, without Gary Harris, I don't even remember the rest of the list. There's a ton of guys. Paolo had 43, including 2 clutch shots to tie the game at the end of regulation. Took the lead at the end of regulation before Sacramento tied it up, and then he tied it up at the end of overtime to send it to double overtime. That was an incredible game. Best game of the season, if you ask me, even though it was a loss. Like, that was the craziest game of the season. And so, yeah, I'm mad. I wish the game hadn't ended this way. I am mad at the officials, though I don't think they're the reason we lost. I think they definitely contributed to some of this stuff down the stretch. But at the same time, I'm not super mad because there's a lot of positives to take from this. Jonathan Isaac being the biggest one. I think you're not going to get our starters playing that poorly a lot here down the stretch. And so the fact that the starters played horribly and you still had a really good Sacramento team on the ropes there at the end, it's maybe I'm being too positive, but that's how I'm feeling. Esteban says, hopefully Suggs won't miss any games after that vicious half-court foul. League definitely looking at that one. Yeah. Again, just a little bit unfortunate there. Noel says, as long as we don't fall to the 7th or 8th seed, I like our chances for a more competitive first round. Here, I'm going to take a break from the chat for a second to address this because I mentioned this at the very, very top of the show, and we have over 100 of you here now that a lot of you missed the top of the show. So I want to explain the bottom line, okay? The little ticker that scrolls across the bottom here. I have added a new thing, a new stat that's going to be on there the rest of the season, okay? We're officially in magic number territory, all right? These are the number of either wins or losses from other teams that we need to clinch exactly what you're talking about, Noel, a top 6 spot and clinch a playoff berth, essentially. And so what that is right now, it is 9 games, okay? And so how that works, let me pull up the standings here. The Magic are 42-29. And so if the Magic were to get 9 wins the rest of the way, that puts us at 51 wins. Where Miami and Philadelphia, the most they can win the rest of the way, if they win all their games, which is 12, if they win the other 12 games, they can only get 50 wins, okay? So if the Magic win 9 games, they're in. Get 9 wins, they're in. Conversely, the Heat and the Sixers, if they lose 9 times, that puts them at 41 losses. 41 losses. And the Magic, the most losses they can have is 40 losses, right? So some combination of 9 Magic wins and Miami/Philadelphia losses will clinch the 6th seed for the Magic. And so we are in single-digit Magic number territory, which again, tonight sucks. Wish I could have made that an 8 tonight, but that's very exciting that here we are, March 23rd, and we are in single-digit Magic number territory for the Magic, which is awesome. It's amazing. How long will it take? Just depends on how poorly Miami and Philadelphia do over these next coming days and how well the Magic do in the next coming days. It's possible this could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 weeks. When this is done, it could be 4 weeks. Who knows? But we're going to keep it there. We're going to keep an eye on it. And obviously, like we do at the end of every show, we'll go through the standings in just a little bit. And Matthew says, please don't lose to Memphis after losing 5 straight against them already. That Memphis loss earlier this season in Memphis is probably the second worst loss of the season, if you ask me. And so we better not. We better not. Oof. Ikaru says, trash. 6 straight L's against them, 4 at home. Spare us optimism about it. We're trash against them. Spare us optimism about it. I can totally understand. I get it. The last part, we're trash against them. I mean, maybe we're trash at finishing against them. But the fact that, 4 of these 6 games have literally come down to the last possession. It's not like they're blowing us out every time. It's just they're a scrappy team, and they found a way to beat us. It just is what it is. Destined for Greatness says, playoff JI is going to be a beautiful sight to see. That's facts, man. The Only Hero says, refs really screwed us with that soft call on Fox. But man, 3 chances to make a shot, and we just threw it. Losses on us. Would have got blown out without JI, so great game by him. Franz 3s look bad. 100% agree with all that. We would have been absolutely blown out without Jonathan Isaac. Think about it. We're down 8 when he comes in the first half. He can bring us all the way back. We take a lead. We're down 9 in the second half. Comes back in. We go all the way back to take the lead. Would have been completely lost without him. Didala says, that huge game by JI and the Kia crowd deserve better. Also, we have to talk about the refs in this one. Not just the late call, but also JI. Oh, basically getting pushed out of bounds on an oop attempt. I don't know if it was JI. The one I'm thinking of was Wendell. But yes, maybe JI. There was one with JI too, but there was definitely one with Wendell. And you're right, man. Kia crowd was sensational tonight. At least watching on TV. It looked awesome. Looked great. Do you believe in says, couldn't watch the whole game, can't watch all of Postgame live, but here long enough to hit like and get a pep talk from Kevin. You know what? Do you believe in? That's a great idea. Those of you that are here, there's 111 of you tuning in right now on this Saturday night. There's a lot of other things you guys could be doing on a Saturday night. So first off, appreciate you being here, especially after a loss. It means a lot. But hey, if you're here, might as well hit the like button. It's free for you. It doesn't cost a dime. And it really, really genuinely helps out the Six Man Show a lot. Not just to help us out, but our goal for this show is to grow the Magic fan base, and to grow like this community that we have. And so the more people that like it, the more chances that other Magic fans that are floating around on the internet, on YouTube, will see this, And so hit that like button. Definitely appreciate it a lot. Oh, man. Bo says, not going to lie, Suggs did push him, but the way the game was being called, that's not something you call, especially that late. Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. And people are asking why we didn't review it, because if you just go by the letter of the law and you do it in slow motion or however they're going to do it, it's going to be a foul. It's going to be a foul. And so, yeah, it's rough, but I 100% agree. They didn't call it all night, and they decided to call it then. Santi says they should have gone for a 2-point shot when they had 3 attempts, drive and draw a foul. 100% agree. 100% agree. And Magic Bounce says, Sabonis moves every screen. Yep, sure does. And I don't think he got a call for one all night long. Dizzy says the way Kia Center starts to rumble when J.I. has a defensive matchup deep in the clock is so amazing. Oh, that's so true. You can just hear the room starts to buzz, right? It's like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We got a super chat here from Soul Train. It says, would you trade the 24 picks for 25 picks? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. The cool thing about this year, thank you for that super chat, Soul Train. The cool thing about this year is I have done such little research on the draft. I've heard a lot of people say it's a down year. And so, does that increase the possibility of us trading it? I don't know. But ultimately, it's kind of like the Jet Howard thing, right? Like Jet Howard, a first-round pick, not playing. He spent the season in the G League, which I think is great. I'm glad the Magic do that. So would the Magic want to draft another rookie and do that again? Because obviously, I don't think there's a rookie that's going to crack this rotation. If Anthony Black can't crack it, I don't think there's another rookie that's going to come in that's going to crack it, especially when you think about the offseason that we have ahead of us, the money that we have, the potential signings that we have potentially coming in. I don't know if there's a rookie that's going to come in and play. So do we trade him? Maybe. Woof. Daedalus says Sabonis gets a little dirty sometimes for sure. Yep. Metro Boomin Cam says all those Sabonis moving screens. Yep. Aurora Mist says that foul call on Suggs at the end was trash. Sabonis getting away with everything. Refs were horrible tonight. Yeah. Hoop says Kings playoff drought would still be going if the refs. Oh, come on. You're still on the refs thing with the Kings. The Kings do not need refs' help to be a good basketball team. That is a very good basketball team over there. All right. Do they sometimes get a beneficial whistle? Sure. That happens. That's still a really good basketball team. Santi says, yeah, the ref waited 3 Mississippis for that BS call. It's facts, man. Really, really did. Really, really did. Oh, we got a troll in here. John 17, I'll give you the attention you want. He says, you guys beat easy teams in the Pels when Ingram got hurt. You're good, but have had a very easy schedule. Guess what, John? Every team in the NBA plays basically the same schedule. All right? If you're in the East, you play basically the same schedule as everybody else. And so you can talk all that, but guess what? We have the easy schedule down the stretch because of who we played in the first 2/3 of the season. And guess what? When Ingram got hurt, we had like an 11-point lead. So whatever. Fill in the blank. Whatever you want. Get out of here. Troll. I have time tonight, guys. I don't normally have time for this, but I have time for that tonight. Get out of here. Come on. Woof. I'm so behind, man. We're 30 minutes in, and I'm like halfway through the chat. All right, I'm going to have to skip around here a little bit. Oh, it's a Knicks fan? Is that what you guys are saying? Clown. Get out of here. I don't mind Knicks fans, but saying stuff like that, come on. Easy schedule. We all play the same. We play the same games, just in a different order. Get out of here, bro. 3-1. Trash. Steven says, Suggs fouled on the final inbound, but no call, of course. Yeah, before the ball was inbounded. Yeah, I saw he hit the deck. Again, I haven't gotten to see the replay, but there's a very good chance he got fouled. Scott's Week in Sports. I'm glad you brought this up. He said, I know I'm Mr. Positivity, but if you told me we would split between New Orleans and Sacramento, I would have taken it. Here's the thing. I said if you go 2-2 in this 4-game stretch with New Orleans, Sacramento, Golden State, and the Clippers, 2-2 in that stretch, I'll take it 100% of the time. 100%. Give me that. So you're 1-1. If you can split these next two, Golden State and the Clippers, that's great. Go 2-0, miracle. Clippers next week, guys. I don't know. I know they're not quite as hot as they were earlier this season, but that's still a tough team. Woof. Okay. Jay says we lose by 20 without J.I. Wow. So was looking forward to Nippy. Yeah. Facts. No. I'll put it this way. Luke will be wearing a shirt on Monday's episode of the Six Man Show. Tragic. Dizzy says, especially after Caleb went out, I would have expected AB to come in. 100%. P.S. Gary is so gone after this season. Depends. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Depends on the money. Gary does a lot of good things. What's hard is if we had Gary from last season, this season, I think people wouldn't be saying that. But because of the way he started this season, not shooting the ball well, and then he's also any small knock that he takes, he's out. I think a lot of people are kind of turned off by that, but I still like Gary Harris. Oh man, John's still going over here, huh? Okay. I'm about to take John and send him off here. Let's see. Colin says, still got some possible W's on the schedule. We have to take the good with the bad, and hopefully they think about games like this in the postseason. Hey, here's the thing. Tonight's great experience. I know people don't like to hear it, but that late game stuff, literally those two possessions, the scramble especially where we get 3 shots off, that is terrific experience because that is exactly something that can happen in the playoffs. That exact scenario. Steven says, need to take care of business versus the Warriors, 100%. Second night of back-to-back for them. Got to do it. Dizzy, yeah, it says it would be big if we could clinch the 3 seed in terms of playoff picture. That's true. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit here. We're almost at the bottom of the chat here. We did get a couple super chats here. Here we go. Let's see. Isaac says, yeah, same. I'm usually so invested in the draft. Isn't that so fun not to be thinking about that? And Soul Train says, my biggest concern is Wendell Carter Jr. numbers for big. Yeah, that's going to be a big talking point potentially here in the offseason, especially. Like, what do we do with Wendell? Okay, John says he stopped. Thank you, John. Leave John alone now. Whatever. Yeah, short leash, brother. Shaw says, I know we're way ahead of schedule, but I'm not mentally prepared for an uneventful first round exit. It's tough. Because, obviously if you look at this team and their experience and their strengths and weaknesses, I think a first round exit from against most teams is probably the most likely thing, right? Cleveland, I would expect that. New York, I'd expect that. Which is why I really want to get the 3 seed and the Pacers get the 6 seed, because I think that's the team that I would actually pick the Magic to beat in the first round. Wouldn't surprise me if we lost to the Pacers in the first round, but if that were to happen, 3 seed Magic, 6 seed Pacers, I would pick the Magic to win that series. Probably the only series I would do that, because I really do think the Magic match up well with the Pacers, and I think we could take care of them, especially the way they're playing right now compared to how they started the season. I'd love to see that. All right, guys. Let's we'll look at this box score really fast. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We already talked about Franz tonight. Really, really great getting to the rim tonight. Wish he did it more, honestly. 8 of 14 from the field, but 1 of 4 from 3. 3 boards, 4 assists, 18 points for him. Paolo tonight didn't shoot the ball really well. 22 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. Did go 1 of 6 from 3. Again, he was 1 of 4 before he took that walk-in 3, and then the heave at the end is his 6-3. Wendell tonight, only 3 points, 11 boards. He had to work really hard on Sabonis. Credit to him. He did a great job defending him. But that forced him, I guess, to not get a ton of looks tonight. Only 1 of 6. We already mentioned, but 0 of 3 from 3 tonight. Very uncharacteristic for him. He had a couple wide open ones. Caleb Houston only played 11 minutes tonight, filling in for injured Gary Harris. And ends up getting injured himself. Doesn't come back in the second half. Jalen Suggs with 9 points. Pretty quiet night for him, especially at home. He tends to play really well. Jonathan Isaac, obviously the story tonight, tying his career high, 25 points with 7 boards. Also had 2 blocks. Went 10 of 13 from the field and 3 of 4 from 3. Are you kidding me? It's crazy. Markelle gets 4 points tonight in 18 minutes. Ugh. Cole was pretty good tonight. Obviously don't like the last shot, but 16 points. Actually, I don't like the last 2 shots. Well, 2 of the last 3 shots for him, especially. I don't really like. But 16 points, 7 boards. Joe Ingles, I mean, really didn't do a whole lot. I still wish we could find a way to get Joe Ingles open from 3 more often. Doesn't even take a shot tonight. And then Mo Wagner, pretty quiet night for him tonight. Ends up with just 4 points. Okay. I do want to look though really fast. Sabonis ended up with 21 on 7 of 14 with 14 boards, 8 assists. Okay. Freaking Keon Ellis. The reason we talk about J.I. having a career game and the reason we were in this game, Keon Ellis is the reason the Kings won this game. If you ask me, like he just could not be stopped. Could not be stopped at all. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, let's look at some of these team stats here. I mean, look how tight this game was. The biggest advantage in a quarter was 3. That's crazy. 14 lead changes, 11 ties. That's wild. That's wild, man. 56 points in the paint for the Magic. Love to see that. I feel like we could have had more if we wanted, or if we tried, I guess. 26 fast break points for Sacramento. That's what they do, man. 49 bench points for the Magic, fueled by Jonathan Isaac, of course. 13 Magic turnovers, only 7 for Sacramento. Man, that's rough. That's rough. Some team shooting stats here. Magic shoot 47% from the field. The Kings only shot 43%, but the difference was they went 15 of 40 from 3, where the Magic were 10 of 35 from 3. That's literally the difference in the game. They make 5 more threes than you. They take 5 more, make 5 more. Magic also went 13 of 18 from the free throw line. The Kings, 18 of 21 from the free throw line. That's pretty impressive for them. You do get 6 offensive rebounds against the Kings. You get 12 offensive rebounds against the Kings, which is super impressive. That is a very good defensive rebounding team. So credit to the Magic there, but just unable to take full advantage. All right, we're going to look at the standings here. Refresh this, make sure this is accurate. All right, so the Magic do fall behind the New York Knicks tonight, and by a half game. Obviously, the Knicks beat the Nets today. The Nets kept it close all the way to the fourth quarter, and the Knicks pulled away. Magic now 1.5 games back of the 3 seed Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, that's who I have my eye on. If the Magic can get to 3 seed, that'd just be incredible. But again, every day it looks more and more like it's a 4-5 Knicks Magic matchup in some way, which would be very, very interesting. But we're still not out of it, and I'm going to show you why. Let's take a look at our handy dandy spreadsheet. Boom. All right, guys. Looking at this, we have another huge, huge day tomorrow. Look at this. Heat, Cavs. Sixers at Clippers. Pacers at Lakers. Bucks, Thunder. And then again, Cavs at Heat. Tomorrow is gigantic. Okay. Couple things. Sixers at Clippers. Sixers, I mean, if they win that would be an incredible result for them. Incredible result. But remember the magic number thing we talked about? Sixers play the Clippers. Heat play the Cavs. If they both lose, that magic number becomes 8, right? However, the flip side of it is if the Heat win, then the Magic get to stay within a game of the Cavs. And so it's quite literally a win-win scenario tomorrow in Miami for that game. Obviously, we'll never root for the Heat. I'll never do it. But that's a win-win for the Magic, no matter how that game ends. And then obviously the other 3 games, Sixers, Clippers. I mean, Clippers can be favored in that. Pacers, Lakers. Lakers can be favored in that. Bucks, Thunder. Thunder going to probably Thunder should probably be, I don't know, it's on the road for the Thunder. Okay, it's in Milwaukee. Bucks might be favored in that one. But either way, it's a tough matchup. And do I still have the Bucks on here? Yeah, I do. Why? Because we're only 3.5 games back. Now, that's a long, long, long shot. And we're probably just a handful of games away from me deleting the Bucks column because they found their mojo again. They're winning again. But hey, it's fun to dream. It's fun to dream. And then, so that's... I'm glad I just remembered this. Because we don't play until Wednesday, let me look at some of the other ones here. Look at this. Sixers and Pacers both on a back-to-back the next day, Monday. And they're at Kings and at Clippers, respectively. There's a chance both of these go 0-2. Huge for the Magic. Huge for the Magic. Knicks, they're in a really easy part of their schedule right here. Pistons, Raptors, Spurs. Don't love that. And then the Cavs are also on the second night of a back-to-back, but they're playing the Hornets. So who knows what Hornets team you're going to get. This is the important one right here. Heat play the Cavs on Tuesday, or Heat play the Warriors on Tuesday before the Warriors come to Orlando. So the Warriors will be on the second night of a back-to-back on Wednesday in Orlando, which you just love to see. You just love to see. I did make a promise, and I'll do this really fast. I'll do this and then we'll come to the chat one more time before we close it out. I did make a promise to look at the Western Conference. Look how important that game was for Sacramento. I told you it was more important for them than for us. They are right on the 6-7 line, and that tonight's win put them at 6. Every game is so important for them. This was a huge game for them. We took their best shot, and unfortunately, we came up one shot short. Woof. Okay, last final thoughts here from the chat. Didal says, above all, us being healthy in the playoffs is key. If we lose anyone important, we fall off a lot. 100%. 100%. Luis Rosario says, oh, yeah, you guys are talking about the Magic Pacers game in 95. That was crazy. He says, I was at that game in the series against the Pacers. Love that. Yeah, Luis is a Magic OG. Popular Canyon says, Boston versus Magic ECF will go crazy. That'd be insane. Thanks, Praise says, excited to see Jet next season, but I don't understand the repeated recalling of Howard with no minutes. With Gary and Caleb out too, big head scratcher. In some ways, when you recall a player like that, it's to get them around the team, to get them in the facility, to get them part of, practices and walkthroughs and all that kind of stuff, and less about having them actually play in the game, if that makes sense. It's more about them being around the culture of the team and walkthroughs and all that stuff. Dizzy says that spreadsheet would already have a sponsor if you added red and green color for wins and losses for the viewing experience. Hey, now the hard part is I thought about doing that, but the hard part is, for example, Cavs Heat, is that a red or a green depending on who wins, right? I don't know, unless you're saying wins and losses for each team. I see what you're saying, but I was thinking more for the Magic, like a green is a good result, red is a bad result. I don't know, we'll think about it. Karen says, Powell did not have his best game. J.I. was fantastic. Had 3 chances to win, but we didn't get blown out. Facts. It's hard. It's hard. He had all the opportunities to win or tie or whatever. Just couldn't do it. But, these things happen. It's an 82-game season. And guess what? They get to do it again on Wednesday. A nice long break for the Magic. Hopefully we can take advantage. And it'll be a nice long break for us here at the Postgame Live. We won't be back until Wednesday. But, of course, the six-man show with Jonathan and Luke will be back on Monday to recap this game, this weekend, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So obviously, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Tough loss, but we'll look to bounce back on Wednesday. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend. Good next few days. I guess tune into the show on Monday. But until then, let's go Magic.